stream. There's like 30,000 people watching. I'm about to mute up, and I'm gonna throw this live. I love the fact that you're on the ground. You know what I mean? I think you did a great service for the Young Boy trial, and now with this case, which we've been so fascinated about, it's ridiculous. First of all, I just want to just kind of throw it to you that you could kind of update me on what went on today, because I predicted yesterday. I'm like, hey, listen, why is Kelsey taking the stand today, knowing that Tory's whole defense is kind of angling, saying she did the shooting? How does she know that maybe the whole jury or maybe everybody in the world believes she did it, and now you're susceptible to charges, and now we hear about an immunity deal? Please break it down for me.
So it was a crazy day. Day starts, Kelsey says, I'm not going to testify. When Kelsey says, I'm not going to testify, the prosecutor responds by saying, I will give you use immunity, which means that if you agree to testify, I will not use any of your testimony against you. Now, the reason why Kelsey can say that I won't testify, she has the right to invoke the Fifth Amendment. You can only invoke the Fifth Amendment. You can't just say, I invoke the Fifth because I don't want to talk to police. No. You can only invoke the Fifth if you're being compelled to testify. In this case, she's being forced to testify, and the testimony that she's going to give is self-incriminating. So the second she walks into court and says that I invoke the Fifth, I can't testify, that tells you that she did something that night that would incriminate herself. Separately, she invoked the Fifth specifically in reference to the question, what was the context of the comment Tory made that I'll shoot? Now, it seemed that she denied that that comment was also made, but more importantly, it seemed that she was saying that I invoked the Fifth. I can't tell you what happened around the timing of that because I would incriminate myself. That is a big win for the defense, but this is not just a mollywop victory for the defense. There's a lot going on here. So, okay, they invoke the Fifth. She gets the immunity. She's now testifying, and she runs back all of these statements that she's made to prosecutors, and she says, oh, hey, you said Tory popped out, had the gun up, and was shooting at y'all? No, that was a lie. Oh, you said Tory reached into the gun to get the console? No, that was a lie. So she admits that all that stuff is a lie. Okay, then we get to the prosecutor stuff. And these are major feathers in the cap of the prosecutor. And that is two pieces of evidence. One, the concept that there was money being offered. Now, what was it being offered for? There's a lot of room to play there. First off, the biggest thing here is that Kelsey denies that she took any money. She said, I didn't take any money. I'm not testifying here because I've been paid to testify. I'm not being silenced. I've been paid to testify. That goes a long way. She does, however, acknowledge that offers may have been made. So the prosecutor's whole point is that she's doing all this shit because she's getting paid. Kelsey's whole point is that I deny. So question back to Kelsey, why are you not talking? What's going on here? What is it that you're afraid of saying? we don't get that answer. She just keeps saying, to protect myself. So there's the money angle, which goes against Kelsey, and then there's the text message. The text message is from Kelsey to a security guard. It says, Tory shot Meg. How do you explain that message? Well, if your theory is that Kelsey is a big-ass liar, Kelsey was involved in this shooting, and from the jump is just saying whatever she can possibly say, whenever she can say it, to avoid putting the burden on her, and you couple that with the fact that Meg has never spoken to Kelsey. They're not talking. They had a complete falling out. The prosecutor asked Kelsey, hey, why aren't you and Meg talking? And Kelsey said, I don't know. Look, there's so much going on. There is just so much going on. And, you know, my big takeaway is this is not a case about Meg versus Tory. This is not a case about who's right, who's wrong. It's not a case about who's lying, who's telling the truth. This is a case about reasonable doubt. Prosecutors believe that a man got out of a car, pulled a gun, and shot 5 times at a woman. I would ask those prosecutors, do you really believe that? And if you do, why haven't you charged attempted murder? What they probably know is that there's more to this story. It doesn't fit a clean narrative to dunk on Tory, so they're not telling us more of this story. And now they've given Kelsey immunity. They told her, this is interesting. We're going to need, to keep this open, and we'll see how this plays out in the future. But let me tell you how the immunity played out, because this is very interesting. So she comes into court. She says, I'm not going to testify. Okay. Now they say, well, we'll give you use immunity. Anything you say won't be used against you. And then her lawyer comes back and says, that's not good enough. I want something called transactional immunity, that you cannot charge me for anything that came out of this circumstance, that night, that incident. You are giving me immunity that you will never charge me for anything that happened that night. They said, we can't do that. But they went on the record and told the judge on the record that we will not charge Kelsey with any crimes, that we have no intention, we will not charge Kelsey with any crimes of what happened that night. What does all that mean? As a practical matter, there's no way you'll ever have the evidence to charge Kelsey. And she's been given both use immunity, so her words can't be used against her, and she's been given a statement on the record from prosecutors that she will not be charged for anything that came out of this incident. That's crazy that they would do that. If there's a possibility that this person is lying all over the place, if you didn't investigate her for DNA, if you didn't investigate her for fingerprints, you didn't arrest her that night, you didn't interrogate her that night, and then you gave her immunity later on, that's crazy to me. And so all that, you know, when you tell all of that to a jury, and now you tell them that, okay, well, we want you to lock this man up for 22 years. They're not going to tell him the time that he's facing, but we want you to hit him with, you know, felony assault with a semi-automatic firearm because he had intent to harm this woman when he pulled a gun and shot at her. Man, I got to think that 1 out of 12 jurors, or it might be 14, is going to say, that doesn't add up to me. I'm not ready to convict somebody in a case like this. This is too messy.
Hey, so watching or even like listening to even your reports, and it seemed very like bombshells were being dropped. Did the prosecutors have any idea that Kelsey, because Kelsey went against, she basically said, whatever I told you guys, complete cap.
Yes, that's what she said, and they had no idea. And I'll tell you another interesting dynamic of how that played out. So they had no idea. and she was struggling. The prosecutor was really struggling because prosecutors don't expect that, and they're not ready for that. And it doesn't happen all the time, and she was just not ready for it. But the judge bailed out the prosecutor because the judge didn't like it. The judge saw that here's a person who's recanting everything they told to an investigator. And so the prosecutor basically would just keep asking the same questions all over again. She would cover a topic, and then she would go back to that topic because she couldn't deal with Kelsey's recanting and telling her that everything was a lie. And so the prosecutor got really off guard, but the judge saved the prosecutor, and the judge gave the prosecutor a lot of leeway to repeat questions, to re-ask questions, to ask questions in ways that I think a normal witness would not have to answer. But because the judge did not like this witness either, basically saying that, hey, I'm a big fat liar, I've been lying to you guys all along, the judge let the prosecutor go. It went on for so long. I mean, you're talking about Kelsey started testifying in the morning. She's not even done with the direct examination by the prosecutor. So tomorrow she'll go back. The prosecutors will continue questioning her, and then we'll get cross-examination. Oh, Lord.
Wow. So as I was kind of seeing this go down, I said to myself, I'm wondering, and by the way, now I'm in the realms of just theories, because at the end
we're
of the
all
day,
in the deep end, bro. We are like deep. Like this is like deep at this point.
I'm wondering if Tory's attorney or Tory's defense, like his whole team, had any idea this was going to happen. Because in my opinion, if she did what she was supposed to do, she was supposed to put Tory in a position where I speculated Tory has to take the stand. I think after this, I'm like, don't take the stand, because you haven't even got